So we have a question from a viewer in Appleton who wants to talk about the internet privacy issue. The viewer references a conference committee where there was a provision that dealt with this, then the provision was removed. The viewer references that Senator Dames might have been a member of that committee. So I looked to you, Senator Dames, and asked you.
Which committee was that on?
It just says a conference committee dealing with the internet privacy protection from the Jobs Bill.
It would be the OSMIC.
Yeah, it would be in the Jobs Bill, absolutely. Right. Yes, there was that piece in there. It has been taken out. Currently, the state has one of the stronger internet data acts in the nation. That don't mean it can't be made stronger. There's some things being worked on that right now. If that'll get back in through the conference process here, I'm not sure. If it doesn't, it's something we can take a look at next year. But I do want the public to realize that Minnesota does have a very strong statute on internet information and exchanging that information and the Data Privacy Acts with that information.
Representative Swedzinski?
I don't know a whole lot about the issue, to be quite honest with you, so I probably can't.
Well, my understanding is I think we passed it unanimously, and I think it passed with only one vote against it. Mm-hmm. So this is one of these, I think it's really important to describe what a conference committee is, because 134 members of the House, 67 members in the Senate pass something, and then it goes to a smaller committee that can be 5 members from the House and 5 of the Senate, or 3 and 3. Yes. And those committees are supposed to meet in the daylight. And I've been around long enough where I remember where we would go into conference committees and we'd do what's called a side-by-side. You'd look at the differences, and members would move it in public, and they would say, well, I want this provision in, and I move it, and if it had 3 votes on a 5-member committee, it would go in, if on both sides. But what's happened over the last few years is it's magical. These things just appear or disappear. And when you have something that's passed that overwhelmingly in both bodies and then it disappears, I think you have to ask why or who. Who is involved in getting that out?
I'll tell you right now. I mean that there was only one person in the legislature that voted against it, and that's Chair OSMIC, who is chairing that Jobs Bill for that conference committee. The bottom line is,
no, he's not. Jeremy Miller chairs.
Or Jeremy Miller. I mean,
so we need to get the information straight.
Well,
OSMIC is the chair of the Energy Committee.
Energy Committee.
So he's on the conference.
He's on the conference committee, but and I apologize for making that mistake. But one person voted against it. When you look at this issue, I mean, this thing was shared and viewed over 10,000 people saw this on my Facebook page alone when we shared this. This is one of the most popular issues that's happening right now. Congress sold our privacy down the road. I mean, that's what Americans think. I think that. I can't even fathom why somebody would think this is okay. And then to show up in a conference committee and then all of a sudden it's just taken out without even a vote on this. When you show back up, and here's the bill that we're going to put forth, and I know you're on the committee, Senator, and I'm not saying that you said let's do this, but I'm going to tell you right now, if I was the House majority with the first election coming up, this is an issue that's going to come up, and if this internet privacy isn't up there, that's going to be an issue, and Minnesota's privacy law is not strong enough compared to what Congress did to us at the national level, and this is a big issue. I'm just saying this is bigger than that. I hope that you will work to bring that back and make sure that Minnesotans' privacy is protected in a better way, and I know that you're working towards that.
And like I said, I'm not. I wouldn't be surprised it comes back. I can't promise that it will. I would not mind. I would like to see it come back. But on the other hand, I find it interesting that I talked to a lot of House people and a lot of Senate people that didn't even know the statutes we have are on the books. So, I'm not saying we obviously want a good, strong policy, but we shouldn't be crying wolf when an awful lot of people don't even know that we have a policy.
Well, you and I we talk about putting guardrails on legislation all the time. And all 4 of us have said that. Yeah. And I don't care if that's the case. If this is just saying we're making a statement, you will not sell our data and you will not sell us out, then let's put it back in.
And that's all currently in statute.